Hello everyone, welcome to today's tarot reading. Today, we will be finding out who will ask you on a date soon. So it doesn't matter if you are single or attached, it doesn't matter if you have the intention to go on a date with this person or not. This is just like a light-hearted little reading to find out who is going to show interest with you, who might be a potential love interest. And we have 4 piles to choose from today. Pile 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the left to right. As usual, I've attached GIFs to each pile if you would like to choose visually. I'll keep the GIFs looping on screen for about a minute or so. I recommend that you kind of just let your eyes lose focus for a moment. Kind of like you're zoning out. And let your eyes drift to the moving image that is calling out to you. Of course, if you would not like to choose visually, that's okay as well. And I'll see you in about a minute. Alright, I will keep the timestamps in the description box below. I always forget to mention that, so please check the description box for the timestamps. See you in a minute. Hi, good one. Let's find out who is going to ask you out on a date. So the first tarot card we have today is the Three of Swords, followed by the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Coins. Okay, so here we have the Queen of Spades, Morgana. This is the Eight of Hearts, the Garden. Next we have the Exorcist. On the light attribute, it says freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, and on the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Okay, so here we have the Izanami no Mikoto, which coincidentally is the true love card in this deck. And finally, we have the High Priestess. Okay, so I think some of you might be a bit alarmed by the Three of Swords that came out right off the bat. Now, please don't be alarmed by that. I'll come to that in a moment. Now, the first thing I see with this spread is that I think that this is somebody who has a sort of duality to them. They have a hidden side to them, which may come in to be very unexpected to you. They might not show this hidden side to you right from the beginning. This is something that will be revealed to you over time. And because of the order in which the cards revealed themselves, I drew the Three of Swords and then the Queen of Swords and then the Ace of Coins. And for the playing card oracle, I drew the Queen of Spades first before I drew the Eight of Hearts, the Garden. I'm leaning towards thinking that this person is somebody who is very cynical when you first get to know them. So you might feel like this person is a very cynical, even cold-hearted, very skeptical of everything. This is somebody who might challenge everything, who is very highly intellectual. who almost thinks too much about everything, about every issue, who might read a little bit too much into the words the of the people around them. This is somebody who has a bit of an edge to them. They might even be deemed or might even be seen to be a little bit hard to get along with because of how skeptical they are. Not necessarily that they are not popular or that they are disliked, but that their friends might be a little bit irritated by their very skeptical nature at times. Of course, there is something charming about people that are very cynical or skeptical. I think they're not always negative, but that they do give off like an air of intelligence, that they really are thinking all the time. They really are using their brains all the time. So, like I said, because of the sequence in which the cards were drawn, I would like to think that this person is somebody who appears to be very cynical. Of course, I say that as if they are just pretending to be cynical. Of course, this person has a cynical side to them, and this might be the first thing that you notice about them. But what I'm seeing with these cards is that there is something more to this person waiting for you to find out more about. Like, this person is like an onion, and you're just seeing what you're seeing is just one side of it or the surface of it. There's more to this person, and that might be really, the other side of them might be really appealing to you as well. So I do think that you might be somewhat attracted to that cynical side of them. I'm not saying that their skeptical, cynical nature is a deal breaker or is very irksome to you. Now, I mentioned the Three of Swords just now, so don't be alarmed by the Three of Swords. I think it could mean that this is somebody who has experienced heartbreak in the past, especially when it's flanked by the Queen of Spades, Morgana, and the Queen of Swords, which coincidentally are, I think the Queen of Spades, Morgana, is the corresponding card for the Queen of Swords in the playing card oracles deck. I think they are the equivalent of each other. But I'll get to that in a moment. Let's look at the Three of Swords first. The Three of Swords could be somebody who has experienced really terrible heartbreak or heartache in the past, or is currently going through a bad breakup, or has just went through a bad breakup. So they might be a little bit vulnerable, which might explain how cynical they feel. They might be at a stage where they feel like, oh, romance is dead, but I think it's just a phase. The Three of Swords could also be about betrayal, so I think this person has been betrayed in the past, so they are a little bit on the edge now, so they might feel a little bit overly suspicious of people around them. I don't think that they are the person who is doing the betrayal, though, if that makes sense. So if you look at this Three of Swords card, I believe that the folklore associated with this card is wait, let me check something about the Queen. Okay, so I remember the story, but I don't remember the title of the story. It's called The Crane Wife, and this is about a crane wife who, if memory serves, is plucking her own feathers to weave silk, or to weave a fabric, or weave clothes of some sort for the husband to sell in order to make money for them. And she's keeping that a secret. She does not want the husband to know that she's hurting herself. And I believe the husband doesn't know that she's a queen, if memory serves. So this card is also a little bit about keeping secrets. This person could be very prone to being very secretive, but I don't think that they are keeping secret as a means of betrayal. I don't think they are keeping secrets in order to lie to you or to lie to other people. I think they're just not very comfortable with opening up to others. And beside the Three of Swords, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords could be in some instances about a woman scorned. Of course, the person who is asking you out on a date does not necessarily have to identify as female. This is just an archetype. They could embody the archetype of the Queen of Swords, or maybe some part of them could be an embodiment of the archetype of the Queen of Swords. And in some instances, the Queen of Swords can represent a person who has been scorned in the past, who has been hurt in the past. In fact, I think some people like to read the Queen of Swords as a divorced woman or divorced person. I'm not very into that reading, but I do see it as somebody who has been through heartache. Likewise, the Queen of Spades, Morgana, is also, or in this deck, Morgana is somebody who has been, who's bitter, who's very bitter. And also very secretive and mysterious. So, Morgana, if, in case you didn't know, is, refers to Morgan Le Fay, the sorceress in, Arthurian legends. So this is somebody who's very secretive, very mysterious. And in this particular deck, the author also describes Morgana as somebody who's very scheming. Now, I don't really see that as saying that this person is deceitful or treacherous, but what I think is that this person is the kind who thinks through everything before they act. So this is somebody who acts with intent, who says something with intent. They might not be very open about their own intentions. So when they ask you out on a date, it might be through a very roundabout manner. They might not be very straightforward with you. They could possibly know that they have a very mysterious charm to them, so they might use that to their advantage, try to charm you with the air of mystery and intrigue before they finally ask you out on a date. But I don't think that they mean this. I don't think that they are toying with you. I think they're just very careful in the things they do because they want to protect their hearts, but they want to protect themselves as well. And the Queen of Swords is also somebody who has a lot of clarity, who can see things that are not... I think that the Queen of Swords is somebody who can see things beyond what the naked eye can see. So I think that this person is asking you out on a date because they are interested in who you are, because they see something in you that might not be obvious to other people, because there's something to your personality that charms them. I don't think that this person is asking you out on a date simply because they are attracted to your appearance. Of course, they could be attracted to your appearance as well, but it is your personality that charms them, I believe. So this is not a superficial person, or at least with regard to their dealings with other people. This is not someone who is very superficial. And with the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess card, like I mentioned, this is somebody who is very intuitive, who when they speak to you and when you're talking to them, it almost feels like they've known you for a long time because of how intuitive they are, because of how perceptive they are. So for example, swords is the suit associated with words in tarot. So I think that this person, like I mentioned just now, this person who might be somebody who reads a little bit too much into the words of people around them. However, with you, you might see that as something that is very attractive, because they might be reading between the lines when you say something to them. So if you're hiding something for them, or if you're not very comfortable with expressing yourself with regard to whatever topic, or if you're somebody who isn't very good at expressing their feelings, this person who's going to ask you out on a date is somebody who's very good at reading between the lines, who's very good at finding out what's really bothering you, who's really good at picking up little clues that you give off that is revealing of what you're feeling. So this is somebody who really looks at you, is really in sync with what you're feeling. And with the Exorcist card, and you're on the light attribute, it says freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And on the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. I think that this person's demons is that they can be a little bit overly suspicious of others, and I do think they're struggling with it. They are trying to get past that. They are at a phase where they realize that this is not healthy for them, and they might be trying to overcome that overly suspicious nature, or that overly skeptical attitude they have towards the people around them. And with the two swords cards here, I think that their conversations with you could be very enlightening to them. It could be enlightening to you as well. Maybe you have such intense, or you would have such intense heart-to-heart talks that might help each other become better people, that might help each other be free of your inner demons. Okay, so I mentioned in the beginning of this video that this person has a different side to them that is very unexpected. I say that because of the Ace of Coins and the Eight of Hearts, the Garden. So despite this person's very skeptical, very harsh attitude towards everything, I think that they have a side to them that is very connected with nature, almost spiritual even. So this could be somebody who enjoys hiking, who enjoys going out in nature, experiencing nature, even things like meditating. With the Ace of Coins and with the Queen of Spades, Morgana, Morgana being a sorceress, and even with the High Priestess, I think that this person might be very into spirituality, or even things like herbalism, things like witchcraft even. There are certain tenets of witchcraft that uses herbs and essential oils and things related to nature to uplift your energy. So this might be somebody who's very into that. Of course, they need not necessarily be into the occult or into the witchcraft, but this is somebody who is definitely connected with nature, who feels the magic of nature. And with the Garden card, the Eight of Hearts. To read this card on a more literal level, I think that this person could be somebody who's very into gardening, who's very into doing things with their hands, digging into the dirt, caring for each and every plant that they pour themselves into, that they put effort into growing. This is somebody who appreciates the little things around them, even though they might not seem that way because of how skeptical, how edgy they are. This card is also in a nutshell about the labors of love. I think that when this person falls in love with you, they would be truly devoted, truly open to you. I guess this is why they have they put on such a very hard shell around them before they show you their vulnerable side, because once they are in love with you, they devote their entire beings to you. So, and that is also why we have the, I think that is also why we have the true love, the Izanami no Mikoto card here. So this card here is about the Izanami no Mikoto goddess, who is the goddess of creation and death in Japanese mythology. So she is portrayed as sort of the beloved of her male counterpart, and assists, or rather is part of the process of the creation of Japan, and of course of other deities in Japanese mythology. However, in the latter part of the mythology, she dies basically, and she is in the underworld. She goes to the underworld, and in the underworld she becomes a sort of a scorned woman. So like I mentioned just now, so this person is somebody who has two sides to them. So they could be scorned, they could look like a scorned lover, a scorned person, somebody who's very bitter. And they could also be somebody who is very in touch with nature, who's romantic even. Like I mentioned, this is the goddess of creation. This is somebody who's very conscious about the sanctity of life. I think it's highly possible that this person is vegan, who cares a lot about things around them, cares a lot about little animals, even have a softer side to them. And with the Ace of Coins is also a card of potential. So this person might be very very prone to creating things, creating life, like I mentioned, gardening, and because the Ace of Coins is also the suit of career, of wealth, I think that this person might also be very lucky, who has a lot of ideas in their heads on how they could make money creatively, who could be very ambitious, and almost this person is a dreamer, I think, with regard to their ambition, because the Ace of Coins in this deck is represented by Jack and the Beanstalk. The coins here is the magic bean that Jack received. So this person is a dreamer, and they have a lot of potential with regard to chasing their dreams. But I do think that they when they get to it, then when they really get to putting themselves into their dreams, they might be prone to self-doubt. So this is somebody who dreams big, but when they start doing it, they might be prone to self-doubt or procrastination. However, like I said, they are at a stage where they have a lot of potential. So in the future, they might be able to bring that potential into fruition. Which also makes me think that, so this is somebody who is, they are not currently at a very high-powered position with regard to their careers. They might be just starting out, so they are still they're still trying things out basically. And this is all I have for group 1. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you meet this person soon, especially since we have the true love card here. Now, I don't know if this person would be somebody you would be with till the end of time, but I do think that their attraction to you, they are true to you, even though they might not seem even though they might appear to be toying with you at first. Like I said with Morgana, she's the sorceress, she's the enchantress, so it might seem as though they are toying with you at first, but I think that this person is truly or can truly be devoted to you. And I hope you resonated with this reading. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like this reading. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again. Hi group 2, let's find out who is going to ask you out on a date soon. First we have the five of cups, the 6 of cups. Very interesting that we have the 5 and the 6 side by side. And the King of Wands. Here we have the Jack of Spades Pampero. And the King of Hearts, Good King Nehemiah. We have here the Damsel. On the light attribute, it says understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. And on the shadow attributes, of course, we have a damsel in distress waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusions. And here we have the Tsukuyomi no Mikoto, who is the deity of the moon in Japanese mythology. And this particular card is about receiving help or receiving support. And here we have the star card. Also very interesting that we have the star card and the moon card. Okay, so the first thing I see with this spread, that the person who is going to ask you out on a date is somebody who knows how to party. Now, I don't necessarily mean that this person is a hardcore party boy or party girl, but this is somebody who knows how to enjoy life. I feel like this is someone who brings joy and fun and light to people around them. They are the kind of person who has a very infectious laughter, who makes everybody else laugh, who commands the attention when they enter a room. They are very likely the class joker if they are still a student, or they could be the class joker in the past. Okay, the class clown. The one making funny comments to the teacher, making everybody laugh. They are also very good-natured. However, I do see that they could also be a little bit immature. I'll get to that later, but let's look at the 6 of Cups first. Now, the 6 of Cups is about childhood. It's about nostalgia, childhood memories. It's about feeling like a child again, basically. And I think that this is somebody who is who's an idealist, who's a dreamer, who's very in touch with their inner child. And when you're with them, you feel like you are very in touch with your inner child as well. This is somebody who is a friend to you. Now, they might not have been your friend for a very long time, but they just feel like a friend to you. They're very supportive of you. They are very innocent. They have a childlike innocence to them. This particular 6 of Cups is inspired by the Snow Queen. So these two children would... Well, if you're not familiar with the story of the Snow Queen, these two children, Kai and Gerda, are best friends. And then Kai, the boy, was basically cursed, okay, in a way by the Snow Queen, and Gerda has to go through many trials in order to save him. And okay, so how was Kai cursed? He basically wasn't himself. He sort of became depressed, he lost his innocence, he became cold and cynical, and Gerda has to go through all these trials in order to return Kai to his innocent state again. Although I think in the end Gerda manages to save Kai, but by then he's not the same person as he was before. Like, he basically regains his personality back, but he just wasn't the same. So beneath this happy snapshot, this warm snapshot that we see in the Six of Cups, there is sort of something sinister lingering beneath. So what I gather from this card is that this person, they do have a very childlike disposition. They are to the point where they could be naive or innocent or impractical. They are not very down to earth. They're the kind of person who's always daydreaming in their own head. They're in their own head. They have their heads in the clouds. So I do think that you would be, or you might be very attracted to the innocent appeal. However, it can at times seem like this person is they are too disconnected from reality. They are not almost like they only care about having fun. They are having too much fun. They are not thinking about things that are important. So and as I've mentioned just now, this person can be a little bit childish. So obviously I say that with the Six of Cups, but the Five of Cups, is about somebody who is holding on to the past, who wouldn't let go of the past. So it could symbolize that this person is somebody who is clinging on to the past, to having no responsibilities, to their childhood. But it could also mean that they have a hard time letting go of events or situations or feelings that situations or events that make them feel like they have been wronged in some ways. It's almost like a child throwing a temper tantrum. I feel the Pampero card, the Jack of Spades, kind of gives me that impression as well. So the Jack of Spades here is somebody who is very single-minded in doing something. So I think that this person is very when they are devoted to you, they are single-minded in their pursuit of you. When they are having fun, that's all they want to do. That's all the fun they want to have. But when they are feeling upset, that's all they can think about. It can be a little bit hard for them to put themselves in somebody else's shoes. This is like an all or nothing person, I feel. However, they are a lot of fun to be around. From what I see, like with the damsel card, I think that this person is somebody who's very, very romantic. The vibe I get is that most likely this person would be the perfect summer fling, or just the perfect holiday fling for you, but I'm not very sure if you would consider this person to be a long-term partner. So this is somebody who's very romantic, who's very into the idea of romance, of having a grand romance, making huge romantic gestures. I see that with the Six of Cups as well. In this particular interpretation, we see one of them giving flowers to the other one. So it could be somebody who's always showering you with gifts. Well, not necessarily expensive gifts, but it could be something like they might hand pluck flowers for you. They might write you cute little cards and notes. They might cook for you. So this is somebody who makes you feel pampered. I see that with good King Nehemiah as well, the King of Hearts. So the good King Nehemiah is somebody who has no qualms about giving away his wealth, giving things to people and making them happy, because if they are happy, then he's happy as well. He just wants to party with them. He's not thinking about the consequences. He's not thinking about things like taxes. He's not thinking about trying to hold their attention, trying to have authority over them. He's not thinking about it. He just wants to have fun. So he's very well liked, well loved by his subjects. They don't necessarily respect him, they don't fear him, but they love partying with him. And he's the kind of person who's always giving people gifts, who's always rewarding people. So this is the vibe I get. I think this person is very generous, who's always showering you with gifts. They might not have the best they might not be the best at handling their finances. And the King of Wands. Okay, the King of Wands here is represented by an image of the phoenix. So the phoenix could be a symbol of nobility, rebirth, strength, and loyalty. I see the phoenix as something that is larger than life, that they command people's attention simply because of who they are. They are not trying to attract your attention. It's not that they are thinking of ways on how to get the spotlight on them. They simply attract people's attention because of how they speak, because of what they talk about, because they sort of represent everybody's ideals or dreams. They could always be talking about living your dreams. They could always be talking about something fun. I do think that this is somebody who has a great sense of humor, who makes you laugh all the time. You have such a great time around them. And this is also somebody who is very adventurous. Wands being the most adventurous suit in the deck. And also the King of Wands is always they're always thinking about their next adventure, I feel. So they might be a king, but they want to enjoy life. They feel very restless. They wish they were a knight. I think they wish they could go from one place to the next. And that's what I think is going on with this person. So they might always be planning the next trip. No, they might not even plan the trip. I think they might be a little bit more spontaneous than that. So they might think of a place to go, but they're not the kind of person who will go in detail about their travel plan. I also think that this could be somebody who is who's in the performing arts. So okay, the image I get from the Firebird, I think I read in a book a long time ago, something about how phoenixes sing before they die and turn to ash, and then they are reborn. And then I also see that if you look closely at the good King Nehemiah card, there are some musical notes beside him. Well, the image I get from the good King Nehemiah is that this person is, well, he's at a party, he's at a feast, he is singing and dancing, he's not acting all kingly, he's having fun. And I think that this person could be in the performing arts, they could be a singer. Maybe that's why the vibe I get is that they are somebody who's very idealistic, chasing their dreams. So they could be somebody who doesn't care a lot about wealth. Material things are not necessarily very important to them. This is somebody who's more romantic than that. They do have a tendency to fixate on things though. That's what I wanted to, I guess, yeah, fixation is the right word to describe it. So if something dampens their mood, they might have a tendency to be very moody, to be fixated on that. When they are having fun, that's all they think about. They're obsessed with the fun. This is what in a way, this is what I mean by saying that they are larger than life. They are, whatever they are into, whatever they are feeling, they put their entire being into it. This is also why they have a very infectious personality. Their moods are very infectious. The things they say are very influential. And it's not like they intend to influence other people. They simply are very charismatic. And with the star card, like I mentioned, this person is a dreamer. They are always reaching for the stars. They are very unconventional as well, I think, because the star card is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquariuses are very, very unconventional. Oh, I just realized in this star card, the woman is playing an instrument, which again makes me think that this person could be in the performing arts. They could be a musician, a singer. They could be a poet. And they are very proud of themselves. They are not necessarily egotistical or prideful. They are not, I don't think they are arrogant, but they are definitely very confident. And I say that first of all because of the King of Wands, because of good King Nehemiah. Good King Nehemiah, from the way I see it, is that he is somebody who has no shame. he has he has no self-awareness, I think. He's just the way he is. He doesn't think about other people's opinions too much. And the star card, if you look at the conventional Rider-Waite depiction of the star card, we see a woman who's naked and is completely comfortable with her nakedness. So this is somebody who was very comfortable, very confident with their bodies. And I don't know, with the good King Nehemiah, I keep getting the image of somebody just at a party or at a feast, just getting drunk and hopping onto a table and getting half naked and dancing around and singing and being all jolly. That's the image I'm getting. And okay, with the star card and the moon deity card, the Tsukuyomi card right beside the star card, I think that this person is a very helpful person, so they are not selfish. The star being about hope, about it could be about receiving help, and this particular moon card is specifically about receiving help in ways that you did not expect. So this is somebody who, if they sense that you are even the slightest bit upset, they might go be over the top in trying to make you happy. They might plan little surprises for you every day. And I think that this moon deity card is also about receiving help in ways or forms that you would not expect. Receiving help from people, from places that you might not even have known about. Just you would be receiving help in mysterious ways, essentially. And how I interpret this is that I think that this person's infectious personality, their jovial attitude, it could really be something that is very uplifting to you. It could be something that you might need at this point. So perhaps you're looking for somebody fun to be with. You might not be looking for anything serious. If that is so, then I think that this person is great for you because they would really brighten up your life. And another thing to note, I know that in this interpretation of the moon deity, the deity is depicted as a man, but I think that if I'm not wrong, the deity is of unknown sex or unknown gender in traditional mythology. So I think some people see the deity as male, some people see the deity as female. So there's a sort of fluidity there. What I see from this is that I think that this person who's going to ask you out on a date might be somebody who's gender fluid, or they could just be somebody who is very they are not caught up with what is right or what is wrong. And I don't mean that in terms of gender. I mean that they are not somebody who is very caught up with opinions. They are quite open-minded. They are not prone to having preconceived notions about anything, and even if they are proven wrong, they would just accept it. So this isn't somebody who's very indignant of always having to be right. Although I do think that when they feel hurt for whatever reason, they might be the kind of person who mulls over it. So they are the kind of person who mulls over their hurt feelings, but in terms of opinions, they are very accepting of different opinions. And that is all I have for this group. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you would meet this person soon, and please leave a comment or like this video or subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the reading. Thank you. Hi group 3, let's find out who is going to ask you out on a date. So first up we have the King of Swords. Next we have the Nine of Coins, followed by the Hierophant. We have here the Six of Hearts, the Home, I believe. I think this card is called the Home. Sorry, I just checked. The card is called, the Six of Hearts is called the Castle, not the Home. Next we have the Four of Diamonds, South Wind. And for the archetype card, we have the Thief. On the light attribute, it says sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. On the shadow attribute, it says stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. When this card comes up in a romance reading, I always think that this is a thief somebody who will steal your heart. Okay, and I believe this card is called the Kotoshido no Shinokami. And I think, from my understanding of it, I think it's about popularity. And finally, we have here the World. Okay, so the first thing I get from this spread is that I think this person is somebody who in some sort of a authority figure or in some sort of leadership position. They could be a leader in their community. If you're in school, this person could be in the student council, has some form of leadership role and some sort of spotlight on them. They could be a very popular person, judging by the popularity card. And I think that they are the kind of leader that everybody loves. So with the King of Swords, the King of Swords isn't somebody who is cold and merciless and just wants to exact judgment. If memory serves in the Rider-Waite interpretation of it, the king is actually holding his sword a little bit slanted. It's not like in the Justice card where the person's sword is fully upright. The king's sword is a little bit slanted. So this isn't somebody who is very inflexible about what is right and what is wrong. This is somebody who is a little bit more compassionate than that. Who sees a bit more than that, is very perceptive. And I think that this could be a reason why this person is so popular. And with the Hierophant card, I do see that this person has an aura of authority to them. They command the attention when they enter a room. When they speak, it's like there's a natural commanding, authoritative air to their words, to the way they speak, to their voice. And they are also they could be seen as a reliable person. So this is somebody who people go to with their problems. Okay, and this is somebody who solves problems as well. And with the Nine of Coins, I see that this could be somebody who is who's very confident, who's very sure of themselves. They are not insecure in any way. They are the kind of person who's very independent, who's perfectly fine with being alone, who's not clingy at all, but at the same time, it just doesn't mean that they are opposed to having companionship. This just means that they're not the kind of person who always needs to be in a relationship. Or on a more negative note, this could also be somebody who is not ready for commitment. But at the same time, I don't think that this is somebody who will toy with your feelings. You know what? I'm not sure because there's a Thief card there. With the King of Swords and just the King of Swords, I don't think this is somebody who would toy with your feelings. Like, they would most likely be very upfront if they are not looking for a committed relationship, if they just want to have a good time. But at the same time, with the Thief card, and on a more sinister note, the Hierophant card can also mean somebody who is very charismatic, but they might not necessarily be sincere in their dealings with you. They could just be repeating things that you want to hear. So I'm kind of on the fence about this. I don't know how straightforward this person would be with you. Then again, there's always the chance that they could be looking for a committed relationship. So it all depends on what you are looking for as well. But what I see is that this isn't somebody who would be wishy-washy when they are approaching you. So this isn't somebody who might test the waters first or necessarily play games with you. They just go up to you and be like, hey, I like you, want to go on a date with me? They are not the kind who would hide their feelings. They're very mature about it. Some people tend to be a bit shy when it comes to expressing their interest in another person, but not this person though. they have no qualms about telling you how attracted they are to you. And then the ball is in your court. Do you want to go on a date with them? If yes, great. If not, okay, fine. That's the kind of vibe I get from this person. With the Nine of Coins and the World, it also makes me think that this is somebody who feels like, or at least feels like to you, that they have like everything in the world. It's very likely that they have some form of wealth, be it family money, or I think it's most likely that they've worked hard for this wealth. With the Nine of Coins, the Nine of Coins comes after the Eight of Coins, and the Eight of Coins is about hard work, perseverance, being toiling at your job, at your craft single-mindedly, and with the Nine of Coins you are reaping the rewards of that. So this person might be a very hard worker, might be the kind of person who puts their career first. This could possibly be why they might not be super keen on the idea of a committed relationship, not because they are like fuck boys or fuck girls, but because they would prefer to put their career first. They would prefer to focus on their career first. However, with the Nine of Coins, I also see that it's likely that they are not their, or at the time where when they are asking you out on a date, they are most likely not at a period in their life where they are toiling so hard at their job that they do not have time to date at all. I mean, that's why they're asking you out on a date, right? So they're kind of like already reaping the fruits of their labor. They are at a stage where they are enjoying life. So this could be somebody who is slightly older, or it could just be somebody whose job has like a downtime and has like a really busy, really intense period. So when at the point in time where they're asking you out on a date, they could be at a downtime, at a time where they are reaping the rewards of their hard work, and they have time to enjoy their life, have the time to travel a little bit. I think that this could be this could be a traveler, like somebody who has a passing traveler, somebody who has like taken time off from their work and it's looking for like a short, enjoyable relationship. So what I see from the Thief card and the Popularity card is that I think this person, well, they are very charismatic, very popular. They could steal your heart easily, and I think that they know exactly what they are doing. So it's not like they are effortlessly charismatic, but that they know how to push other people's buttons. They know, perhaps they are very observant, and they know what ticks your boxes and makes you fall in love with them. So this is somebody who is a little bit scheming, who uses their brains. Okay, like with the King of Swords, it's not like, well, just for context, in the previous pile we have somebody who has almost no self-awareness, but is very effortlessly influential and charismatic. But in this pile, I see that this person knows exactly what they are doing and knows exactly what to say to you to make you want to go on a date with them. So this is somebody who is rather calculating and is very good with their words, with the King of Swords and the Hierophant card. I see that this person has a sweet tongue, is very good with their words. And I think I mentioned just now, I mentioned a moment ago something about this person being a traveler. I say that partly because of the Thief card, because what I see from this card is a lover who won't be around for a very long time. Of course, this is a general reading, so it might not necessarily apply to every instance, to every case out there, but it is likely that this person might not be somebody who would be around for a long time. And I see that with the castle card as well, the Six of Hearts. Now let me explain this card. This particular card, the castle, is about home. It's about feeling at home, being at home in the castle. The castle isn't just like a huge building, isn't just an architectural marvel. It's a place that feels like home. And however, I don't necessarily see that this person is a homebody. They could be, with the castle and the Nine of Coins. The Nine of Coins is about being in your own sanctuary. And I see that this person could be a homebody. They could have their own private sanctuary that they are very protective of, I feel. They have a side to them that is very private to them that might be a little bit hard for you to assess. But at the same time, I think that this is somebody who can make any place their home. So this might be someone who's always on the go, but they are not longing for home because they are highly adaptable. Any place could become a home to them. They are perfectly comfortable with their surroundings, with their environment. I say that because of the world card as well. So this is somebody who is very worldly, who is very well read, well traveled. The thief card, I don't know why, but the thief card reminds me of somebody who is always flitting from one place to another. So it's likely that they might live in a huge house, with the Six of Hearts and the Nine of Coins, but this is likely someone who is very independent, who can find a home any place in the world, who is able to enjoy themselves any place in the world. Again, with the castle card and the Nine of Coins, I do sense a sense of luxury involved here. So this might be somebody who is well off enough to find a nice home anywhere in the world. And with the Six of Hearts, the castle card, I also think that this person could make you feel like you are at home when you are with them. It could be because of how authoritative, how commanding they are. I don't necessarily mean that they are bossy or domineering, but because they are so sure of themselves, you feel a sense of security when you're with them. And as a result, you feel like you are at home when you're with them, and you feel this sense of security because of how assured of themselves they are, how they make you feel safe as well. And I don't think that this is somebody who is very serious and uptight all the time. Like I mentioned with the King of Swords, the King of Swords isn't somebody who is very obsessed about what is right and what is wrong. The Nine of Coins is about somebody who is enjoying their life, enjoying the fruits of their labor. There is a very relaxed vibe to the Nine of Coins, which I guess is also why I mentioned the part on traveling just now. So they might be at a period of time where they have some time to take a breather and are looking for a fun romantic relationship. And with the Four of Diamonds, South Wind, this particular card, the South Wind is a naughty wind. It's about a wind that comes very unexpectedly, who wreaks a little havoc. Who's very playful as well, who messes up your hair, ruffles your hair, and to use a rather sexist imagery, who flips a few skirts. So this is somebody, of course I don't mean that this person is a sexual predator or anything like that, but just to use that as an example or imagery, this is also somebody who is having fun, who has a sense, who's mischievous. There's a better word than say having fun than having fun. So, I don't mean that this is somebody who's a sexual predator who goes around assaulting other people and flipping their skirts, but like, this is somebody who, with your consent, could be a little bit playful with you. And again, I don't mean that you are necessarily female or that you necessarily wear skirts. I just think that this is the kind of person who has no qualms about having public displays of affection, who's very playful with you, who grabs you and pushes you into a supply closet somewhere and get physical with you. That's the kind of vibe I get with this person, which I guess also makes this person very exciting and popular, the popularity card, because they have this sense of adventure, this sense of mischief about them. And I think I've mentioned just now that this is somebody who is very worldly. I think when you're with them, it feels like when you're with them, you've been to places you've never been to. Does that make sense? Not that they necessarily bring you to places that you've never been to, but when you're with them, you kind of re-experience the place. You see the place with fresh eyes, and it could also feel like they complete you in a way. They are, or in that moment, it could feel like they are all that you've been waiting for in life. Of course, again, this is just a reading to find out who is asking you out on a date. So I don't know if this person is the one yet, but like, it could feel as though they are somebody. It could feel as though they are your soulmate. It could feel as though they are such a great catch. It could feel as though you've been waiting for this person your whole life. They are kind of dreamy. That's the vibe I'm getting. And that's not that they have their head in the clouds, but that they are, or rather they appear to be the kind of, to be the person of your dreams, to be the person you've always dreamt about. I don't think they're the kind of person who have their head in the clouds, though. They are quite, they have a certain awareness to them, and they are quite down to earth, and quite ambitious as well, but not overly idealistic. I don't see that. And that is all I have for this group. I hope you'll meet this person soon, and I hope this resonated with you. If you like this reading, please consider liking and subscribing and leaving a comment, and please come back again for more readings. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello group 4, let's find out who is going to ask you out on a date soon. So first card, we have the Queen of Coins, the Two of Cups, the Fool. We have here the 10 of Spades, Terene. At least that's how I think her name is pronounced. Here we have the Two of Diamonds, the Rivalry. Here we have King, enlightened, benevolent leadership befitting those in your charge, or excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. And this card, I believe, is called the Ame no Uzume no Mikoto. I hope I pronounced and intonated it correctly. But basically, it's about artistic abilities or artistic talents. I think this goddess, Ame no Uzume, is the goddess of dawn. Dawn as in, the start of the day of meditation, and well, she's a patron of the arts as well. And finally, we have here Temperance. Let's start with the most obvious card here. I think that at this person's core, they are definitely the artist type. I think that is the aspect of themselves they most identify with, or at the very least it is an aspect of themselves that they care a lot about. They are definitely some sort of artist, and they have some sort of artistic talent. So this could be visual arts, performance arts, or they could even view something that is not conventionally thought of as art, but they think of their passion as art. So for example, this person could be a computer programmer, but they see what they do as something that is more than just coding or whatever it is that computer programmers do. So they see artistry in what they do, and they care a lot about that. And I think that looking at this spread, the other cards can be viewed in the vein of how they see themselves, as an artist. So, let's start with the goddess here, Uzume. This is a goddess who's very sensual, who is, you can see that she's dancing, and if I'm not wrong, she's performing some sort of ritualistic traditional dance. The way I see this card is that this person is almost as though they are dancing into a frenzy. Almost they are reaching some sort of enlightenment or some sort of higher state of consciousness through their art, through their dance. This is somebody who's very sensual, who's really feeling themselves. I don't mean that this person is very arrogant or anything like that, but this is someone who's very romantic with regard to their artistry. I do think that they are a romantic lover as well. So I say that because of the Two of Cups. I think that this person, when they ask you out, they're the kind of person who will look deep into your eyes, give you the sweetest smile, and charm you into going on a date with them. And that first date, I'm guessing, is probably going to be very eye-opening in a sense. So they might bring you to the hippest art gallery or museum, or some sort of yoga retreat that they go to all the time, and plan out some activities for you that you may not even have heard of. I don't know. Okay, so this is somebody who's kind of hippie, I feel. Or maybe that's just the impression I get from artsy people, always knowing about some music venue or band or some activity that other people have not heard of. I don't know why the image of yoga is really coming in. I think it's because of the Queen of Coins as well, being in touch with nature, being connected to nature. Maybe you go to a yoga retreat together. I don't know. And this is somebody who is always feeling very inspired to create things. With the artsy goddess dancing we have over there. And with the other cards as well, Queen of Coins, she's the Queen of Coins is basically the mother archetype, right? So this person is or has the potential to create things, create art, be connected to the world around them and create something beautiful out of it. The Fool as well. The Fool is about, well, boundless potential. Even the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is somewhat creative as well, as about, I see as getting in touch with your emotions, and it could be about creating something that based on their emotions. So this could be a songwriter who is singing about their feelings. And the Temperance card, with the Temperance cards, there's alchemy involved. Of course, this is not just what the Temperance. Of course, the alchemy part is just one part of the Temperance card, but I do see that this person is about, mixing things here and there and coming up with something new, creating gold from it. This could also be somebody who's a little bit quirky, like, that manic pixie dream girl archetype from movies. Like, I think this person could give off a little bit of that kind of vibe, because of course I don't mean that they necessarily identify as female, but they do have that quirkiness to them. Or at least they can be a little bit quirky at times. So I mentioned that I think that the cards in this spread should be, or in my opinion, should be viewed in the vein of how this person view themselves, which is that they view themselves, or they value the part of them who's an artist. And I see that the rest of the cards kind of speak to that. Okay, what do I mean by that? First of all, there's a lot of contradictions and duality. Not necessarily contradictions, but they are like, I see them as like two sides of the same coin. Now, first of all, we have the Queen of Coins and the King. And so we have the Queen and the King, two aspects of a union. And then we have the Two of Cups, again, two aspects of a union, a connection. Two of Cups is about love. And at the same time, we have the Two of Diamonds, the rivalry. Again, two parts of one thing who are challenging each other, who are at odds with each other, but they are inevitably bound together. It's like we have the yin and the yang, light and dark. It's like this person is an embodiment of both. And finally, we have the Ten of Spades, Terrene, and the Fool card. Okay, so Terrene here is, as the author of this deck describes, she's like it's just like a Cinderella figure. She's a serving girl. Cinderella before she became a princess, before she married the prince. She's Cinderella at home, being very subservient to the stepmother, to the stepsisters, and doing all the housework. I think you even see from this, from the corner of this card, that there's a squirrel over there. It's like, how Cinderella, in the Disney movies, at least, she's like speaking to the little animals around her. They are her friends, and she's very connected with nature. She's very connected to the world around her, seeing things that nobody else can see. Which kind of links to the Queen of Coins card, being connected to nature, feeling nature, being at one with nature, being in sync with nature. Maybe that's why I keep getting the image of the yoga retreat, or like meditation, just feeling the world around you, feeling everything that reaches every one of your senses. So, like I said, this is somebody who's very sensual, with the goddess, the Uzume goddess card. This is somebody who is highly, highly sensual. And then we have the Fool, which in this particular card is represented by the Little Mermaid. There she is on the rock still. She still has a tail. She's dreaming of the prince she saved, looking longingly at the castle. She is about to embark on her reckless plan. She doesn't care about the consequences. It's like she's devoted to that image she has in mind, and she wants it. So we have like two very familiar characters from fairy tales here. The first one being Cinderella, but Cinderella in this depiction, at least, or rather Terrine, not Cinderella, in this depiction, at least she's very down to earth. She is not flighty. She's not dreaming about the prince. She doesn't know that the prince would be coming. But she's just she does her job well. She endures her hardships, and she feeds little animals around her. If you look closely at this card, you can even see the moon in the background with some branches and some flowers on the branches. So this is somebody who's connected with nature, who takes in the little things in nature. She's not dreaming of lofty ideals, whereas the full card is not looking at the surroundings. If you look at the Rider-Waite depiction of it, like the fool is, he is walking off a cliff happily. Okay, of course, being the fool, being how lucky he is, he would most likely survive. But this is somebody who is not looking at their surroundings. So we see here, from the three sets of cards, like we have two different sides of a coin. Like this is somebody who is almost torn by these different sides to them, and I feel like this difference that they have within them, they use that and channel into their art. It's like they are so it's like their senses are so attuned to so many different frequencies, if that makes sense. And they channel that into their art, into what they consider to be a higher form of consciousness. I do see that this person is very spiritual. They might be the kind of person who sees what they do, who sees the art as a conduit, a pathway into some sort of higher consciousness. They might be highly, highly spiritual. But at the same time, they might feel very down to earth at times. They might be very connected with nature. It's not like they are always they always have their head up in the air, but they have this dichotomy to them. They could be talking about. So at one point, they could be talking about things that you don't understand at all, things that you have no idea what they're talking about. Very arty-farty, very things that are beyond the realm of common sense. But at the same time, they could be very down to earth in a way. So for example, they might care a lot about the environment. They might be very devoted to the world around them. So the Queen of Coins is somebody who is very nurturing, right? So perhaps they are somebody who volunteers. I'm just giving examples. So they have that. They have different sides to them that all builds to that all. And the different sides of them kind of boils down to them being this like artist figure, artist archetype. With the Two of Cups, I also see that this is somebody who could be highly romantic. The Fool card as well. This is somebody who is highly romantic, very in touch with their emotions, very sensual. But on the flip side, it could be somebody who, how do I put this, might be at times a little bit too in touch with their emotions. So they might go into a spiral where I don't know how to put this, like almost like they are lamenting their own existence, almost like they go into an existential crisis mode and they find that life is too painful. I don't necessarily mean that they are depressed, but that they see the good in everything. They enjoy nature, they love nature, but at the same time they see the ugly as well, and this makes them very conflicted, and this affects them a lot. Like, I think they're the kind of person where, like, if they read about a sad piece of news, they would feel very affected by it, even though, they they are not personally involved in the tragedy or in the news that they've read. So that's what I see with the Two of Diamonds, the rivals card. So it's like they're constantly wavering between being very idealistic, being very awed by how wonderful art is, by how wonderful the world is, by being such a romantic. And then sometimes they just, get a little bit too in touch with their emotions, and they fall into this moodiness. That's what I feel. Maybe I'm too caught up with the artist card over here. After seeing that, I feel like the rest of the cards are all speaking about this artist archetype person. And with the Queen and the King, I think that this person is well, they have a balance of the female archetype and male archetype inside them. And they are in touch with their feminine side, and they are also in touch with their masculine side. So in this particular King card, I'm not very sure what he's holding. He's holding something that looks like an orb, but it kind of reminds me of the suit of coins, which is also why I see these two cards, the Queen of Coins and the King card over here, as being complementary with each other. So just to give an example of how this person is in touch with both their feminine side and their masculine side. So I think that this person, like I mentioned, is very sensual. They most likely like to connect with nature, like to go for yoga retreats and all that. But this isn't somebody who is completely divorced from the material world. There are two sides to the suit of Pentacles in tarot. We have nature and we have wealth. Two things that are frequently in opposition with each other. But this person is, perhaps he uses the inspiration that he gets from nature and channels them into his art, which into the material. Perhaps while they are very spiritual, they are also very ambitious. These aren't necessary things that, they're always contradictory to each other. So the only thing is that I see that this person kind of his or her main issue with themselves is that they are always trying to find a balance, between the masculine and the feminine, between being very down to earth, between very in the moment and dreaming big, dreaming about the future, being ambitious, and between being romantic and turning spiteful for some reason. With the Two of Diamonds, the rivalry between not just being romantic in a relationship, but having a romantic outlook of the world and being very cynical, being very jaded, with the Two of Cups and the Two of Diamonds. And using all these feelings. This is somebody who has a lot of feelings, okay? Who's always feeling a lot of things, and using all these feelings, everything that they've gathered with their senses, they try to balance it, and they try to create something out of it. And that's why we have the Temperance card here, creating something out of it. This is somebody who's also trying to, always striving to be calm, to be patient, always striving to take the middle ground. I also feel like they could be struggling, on being very empathetic towards other people, to the point where they almost feel like they are feeling other people's emotions, and also struggling to understand their own emotions, trying to protect themselves from emotions from other people that could really drain them. And with the Temperance card, I also see that they might, on the surface at least, have a very calm, very zen, very peaceful vibe. They might be very peaceful to be around, although deep inside they might every now and then be experiencing some sort of inner turmoil, existential crisis. They might be feeling a lot, but they do make you feel calm when you're around them, I feel. And that is all I have for group 4. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you'll meet this person soon. And I hope to see you again. If you like this reading, please consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. Tell me if you met this person. And please come back for more readings. Thank you.